Shalom, all praises, blessings, glories, and honors to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha, Kodash. Double honors to my elder apostles and bishop elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth, as well of men of like mind. Shalom wa chasad to the elect of the nation of Israel, whom you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, and Israelite foreigners of the seed line of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whom are scattered here in America, which is Babylon the Great, and abroad. To you I say Shalom, beginning with the 144,000 prophets, and Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, willing, this lesson is edifying and informative. My name is Quan Wath. Without further ado, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 49, verse 20. Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, that he hath taken against Edom, and his purposes that he had purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 45. Therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, that he hath taken against Babylon, and his purposes that he had purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. In the news from the Reuters, Iran warns Israel against reprisals. World powers urge restraint. Now, as you brothers and few sisters know by now, Iran responded to Israel yesterday in the form of a drone attack. It says, Iran warned Israel and the United States on Sunday of a much larger response if there is any retaliation for its mass drone and missile attack on Israeli territory overnight. As Israel said, the campaign is not over yet. The threat of open warfare erupting between the arch so-called Middle East foes and dragging in the United States has put the region on edge, as Washington said America did not seek conflict with Iran but would not hesitate to protect its forces in Israel. Now, those of us that are familiar with Project for New American Century, also known as PNAC, which was and is a neoconservative, think tank that had been established in 1997. The last country on their agenda is Iran. Okay? On the PNAC, the goal was to expand American hegemony throughout the globe under the guise of globalization. And the last country on their list is Iran. You can look up PNAC at your own discretion. It says, Iran launched the attack over a suspended Israeli strike on its consulate in Syria on April the 1st that killed top Revolutionary Guards commanders and followed months of clashes between Israel and Iran's regional allies, triggered by the war in Gaza. However, the attack from hundreds of missiles and drones, mostly launched from inside Iran, caused only modest damage nonetheless, in Israel, as most were shot down with the help of the US, Britain, and Jordan. An Air Force base in southern Israel was hit, but continued to operate as normal, and a 7-year-old child was seriously hurt by shrapnel. There were no other reports of serious damage. Ahead of a war cabinet meeting in Israel, Cabinet Minister Benny Gantz warned Israel will retaliate when the time is right. When the time is right. And when that time comes, America will be dragged into this war to be a guard unto the least of the flock, which is the state of Israel. We will build a regional coalition and exact the price from Iran in the fashion and timing that is right for us, Gantz said in a statement. White House spokesman John Kirby said on NBC's Meet the Press that repelling the mass drone attack had been an incredibly military achievement by Israel and its partners, and that shown how Israel is not isolated on the world stage. Now, whether and how the Israelis will respond, that's going to be up to them. We understand that and respect that, but the president's been very clear we don't seek a war with Iran, which is a lie. The Islamic Republic's mission to the United Nations said its actions were aimed at punishing Israeli crimes, but this is now deemed a matter concluded. Iranian Army Chief of Staff Major General Mohammad Bagheri warned on television that our response will be much larger than tonight's military action if Israel, retaliates against Iran, and told Washington its bases could also be attacked if it helped Israel retaliate. Iranian Foreign Minister Amir Abdullahian said Tehran had informed the United States its attack on Israel would be limited and for self-defense, and the regional neighbors had also been informed of its planned strikes 72 hours in advance. Global powers, Russia, China, France, and Germany, as well as Arab states, Egypt, Qatar, and United Arab Emirates, urged restraint. We will do everything to stop a further escalation, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz said on a visit to China. We can only warn everyone, especially Iran, against continuing this way. Turkey also warned Iran it did not want further tension in the region. 1/8 the remains of a rocket booster that, according to Israeli authorities, critically injured a 7-year-old girl after Iran launched drones and missiles towards Israel near Arad, Israel. The UN Secretary Council was set to meet at 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday. Escalation. Analysts debated how far Iran's attack was calibrated to cause genuine devastation in Israel or to save face at home after vows of revenge while avoiding a major new war. I think the Iranians took into consideration the fact that Israel has a very, very strong multi-layer anti-missile system, and they probably took into consideration that there will not be too many casualties, said Sami Shen, a former senior Mossad official at the Institute for National Security studies in Tel Aviv. But if Iran was hoping for a immediate response, like with its missile attacks on U.S. forces in Iraq after the killing of Guards Commander Qasem Soleimani in 2010, she warned, "I don't think Israel sees it this way." On Saturday, Iran's Revolutionary Guards seized an Israeli-linked cargo ship in the Straits of Hormuz, one of the world's most important energy shipping routes, underscoring the risk to the world economy of a wider conflict. Some fighters were suspended in countries across the region, and share prices fell in the stock markets in Israel and Gulf states. The point has pretty much been read, so I will not read any further, but I will move on to another article published by the New York Post entitled, "Biden told Netanyahu U.S. will not engage in counteroffensive against Iran, calls Saturday a win for Israel. Report." Now let's listen to the video. So all they're showing here is, Biden coming out of the chopper, not really saying much. So now let's just simply read the article instead. President Biden told Israeli Prime Minister that nothing of value was hit in Iran's airborne attack Saturday, and asserted American forces will not be participating in any offensive against Iran, according to a report. The president called Israel's defense during the attack a win, telling Netanyahu Israel's ability to intercept nearly all of the hundreds of missiles and drones showed its military superiority, a U.S. official told CNN. Biden also made it very clear that the U.S. would not be engaging in any military offensive against the Islamic Republic, the senior official told the channel. Israeli Defense Forces said it had shot down the vast majority of projectiles outside of Israel's border. It was assisted by the U.S. military. At my direction to support the defense of Israel, the U.S. military moved aircraft and ballistic missile defense destroyers to the region over the course of the past week, Biden said in a statement Saturday night, after his phone call with the Israeli leader, according to readout of the call released by the White House. Thanks to these deployments and the extraordinary skill of our members, we helped Israel take down nearly all of the incoming drones and missiles, he added. And again, before I read on, let's again read Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 20. Therefore hear the counsel of the Lord Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, that he had taken against Edom. Edom is the so-called Caucasian race. They are the wicked, according to Malachi chapter 1, verse 4. And his purposes that he had purposed against the inhabitants of Teman, which are Edomites. Surely the least of the flock, which is the state of Israel, shall draw them, which is America, Babylon the Great, out where? Into the valley of Jehoshaphat. Okay? Into the so-called Middle East, to be a guard unto the least of the flock, which is the state of Israel. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them, and they have been drawing America out into that region gradually over the past year, roughly. And eventually, when things heat up even more, we understand that according to biblical prophecy written up in Ezekiel the 38th chapter, Gog and Magog, which is Russia, will then become a guard unto Iran. Okay? But before the Thoros will heightens, really kicks off the mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip, must and will be first mandated globally. And then the Thoros will heighten, so to speak, pop off, if you will, because these are just simply the beginning stages. And during that time, our Lord Yahweh Shai is going to make a second return. This is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 45. Therefore, hear ye the counsel of the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, that he had taken against Babylon. Notice that Edom is now being referenced as Babylon here in the 50th chapter, the 45th verse. The word Babylon means confusion. And this purpose is that he purpose against the land of the Chaldeans, which the land of the Chaldeans is America, Babylon the Great. The ancient Chaldeans were witches and warlocks, necromancers, wizards, okay, witches, surely the least of the flock, and that's America. That's these Edomites. Okay, read Isaiah 47. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. And the Lord is going to make the habitation of the least of the flock and this land desolate, according to biblical prophecy, through thermonuclear destruction. So now let's read on and then conclude the lesson. Abu Raza, it has been informative and edifying. A handful of missiles made it through, with one striking an Israeli base, but damages were minor and no injuries were reported, according to IDF officials. A senior U.S. official told CNN that the U.S. forces intercepted more than 70 drones and at least 3 ballistic missiles. The missiles were shot down by 2 guided missile destroyers deployed in the eastern Mediterranean. U.S. fighter jets also helped defend Israel from the barrage, another official told the outlet. And here we have the New York Post. Iran attacks, launches drones, missiles in first direct assault on Israel. And here they show a map. So it says, Biden said he will meet with G7 leaders on Sunday to coordinate a united diplomatic response to Iran's brazen attack. While we have not seen attacks on our forces or facilities today, we will remain vigilant to all threats and will not hesitate to take all necessary action to protect our people, the president said. And this concludes the article. So with that, I pray this lesson was edifying. To the elect, I say shalom until the next Lord's willing.